Shin Se-kyung sat among the army crowd, smiling as Jin performed on stage. But who would have thought that smile would turn into a storm? What is really going on behind that meaningful look? Why didn't HYB prevent his presence? Is this just an act or a veiled confession of love? Not a coincidence. Here's a hint of Jin and Shin Se-kyung's relationship before the live performance. Shin Se-kyung is caught on camera attending Jin's first live show. Army angry. HYB failed to calm fans. Is this just a coincidence? Or is it the guidance that has been deliberately hidden? One live appearance. One camera that captures more than just expressions. One name that was never mentioned. But today shook the entire fandom on a night that was supposed to be an emotional victory for BTS's Jin. A shadow appeared in the audience. Not an empty shadow, but a familiar figure in the Korean drama world, Shin Se-kyung. Sitting in the VIP audience row, he was seen smiling as Jin stepped onto the stage. But when the camera panned it, the smile turned into a center of anger. The army captured him, tagged him, and flooded social media with one question: why is he there? And the question is not without reason. Not once was Shin Se-kyung's name associated with Jin. But this is the first time that all the pieces of the puzzle are clearly visible. In Jin's latest video clip titled "Don't Say You Love Me," she not only performs as a singer, he's acting. And his co-star, predictably, is Shin Se-kyung. In the video, they are not just lovers. They are two souls who seem to have lived together in a deeper reality than just a scenario. Their hugs are not ordinary hugs. Their gaze was too deep, too real, too dangerous to be called acting. Is that what the army is afraid of? When Shin Se-kyung is seen attending Jin's first live performance after a long hiatus from the entertainment world due to military service, the fans immediately feel something is wrong. Why did he come? Why didn't HYB stop him? Are they not aware that this will provoke a much greater emotional storm than just controversy? A number of soldiers even claimed that they saw Jin throwing a smile directly at Shin Se-kyung's seat. Some claimed to see him looking down when the sad song was performed by Jin. Some thought he was crying. But are those tears for a song, or for a love that can't be expressed directly? One thing could not be ignored. HYB tried to defuse the situation. They released a brief statement that Shin Se-kyung attended at the invitation of professionals and with regards to working together on the video clip. But that explanation ignited a fire. Because if their relationship is only professional, why did he come at such an important moment? Many ask, if this is just acting, why does it feel too real? If this is just cooperation, why does it feel like recognition? Why did Jin's expression change as he looked towards the VIP seats? Why did the other BTS members seem to be silent when Jin introduced the song "Don't Say You Love Me" before performing live? The question doesn't stop there. A staffer who did not want to be named said that since the shooting of the video clip, Jin and Shin Se-kyung look very familiar behind the scenes. Some even claim that the two often talk in a low voice, laugh at each other, and avoid the camera's gaze when not filming. They have chemistry. But it's not the chemistry that builds. This is natural, he said in an ambiguous tone. Then why didn't HYB prevent this from developing? Does HYB really know more than they say? Are they letting this gossip grow because they know the relationship is real? Or vice versa, they're trying to cover up something that is already too late to stop? One by one, the clues began to be arranged. The audience found that in the song "Don't Say You Love Me," there was one lyric that was not in Jin's initial demo version. The lyrics read, "You showed up quietly and I couldn't resist." Is that a hidden message? Or is that a statement he's been keeping? An army even made a frame-by-frame video analysis of the interaction of the two in the video clip. As Jin and Shin Se-kyung stand in the rain, their hands touch without a script. No orders. There is no dialogue. Just an instinctive gesture. And it was caught on camera. Look at his eyes. One fan wrote, "He's not acting. She's in love." Of course, not all fans take it for granted. There are those who defend Jin, saying that he is just a professional, that he is too smart to mix work and feelings. But most feel betrayed. They feel like they haven't been told. They feel excluded from the life of their idol. And it hurts. Some fans even called this the most painful plot twist in BTS history. Because it's not just about love. It's about trust. And when that trust is shaken, who can save the relationship between idol and fan? What makes Shin Se-kyung so confident to appear in front of thousands of ARMY? Did he not know that his presence would burn emotions? Or does he know? Do you think that's a form of proof? The question continues to resonate. On social media, hashtags like #ProtectJin and #Shin Se-kyung stay away from Jin started trending. But there is also another surprising hashtag. #Jin Se-kyung is real. Terrible? Or is it just a lack of consistency? HYB has not yet given a further statement. Jin remained silent. But silence is too loud, too full of meaning. And silence is like an empty space full of assumptions. Are they really in a relationship? Is the song Don't Say You Love Me a reflection of an unannounced relationship? Music analysts even began to unravel the hidden meaning of the video clip. In one scene, Jin is seen looking up at the night sky while Shin Se-kyung hugs him from behind. In the sky there is a star in the form of the constellation Leo, the zodiac Jin. And in his hand, Shin Se-kyung holds a crescent-shaped pendant symbol in plays he once played. Too specific to be called a coincidence. Then, who is wrong? Is it wrong for two humans working together to find interest in each other? Does Jin have to ask the entire ARMY for permission to fall in love? But on the other hand, is it wrong for the ARMY to feel excluded? Does the love of an idol have to be shared? Or hidden? No answer. But for sure, the night wasn't just about the songs. It's not just about appearance. It was about a reality too real to avoid. And in the midst of the cheers of the stage, there was a woman sitting quietly, watching, maybe love, and witness the storm he brought. Will Shin Se-kyung speak? Or will it be a secret wrapped in lyrics, cinematic visuals, and endless speculation? Jin may have been singing Don't Say You Love Me, but could it actually be a last request before it's all revealed? Is this the so-called moment of nullity? When the thousands of pairs of eyes that were supposed to stare at the genie with love and pride instead turn into a spotlight full of suspicion, disappointment, and most painfully, betrayal. None of the fans present that night thought that the show, which was supposed to be a new chapter in Jin's solo career, had turned into an open stage for a secret relationship that had been kept secret. But who saves? Jin? Shin Se-kyung? Or is it just HYB who knows, but chooses silence? There are small pieces that now feel like time bombs. One of them, behind, the scenes footage from the filming of Don't Say You Love Me, which HYB never officially released but suddenly appeared after the events at the concert. In the video, Jin and Shin Se-kyung appear to be laughing together in between shots. There's one moment where Jin's hand touches Se-kyung's shoulder to remove the small leaf stuck to her hair. A spontaneous movement. Looks small, but not for those who see it after knowing this painful truth. And how can all this be denied as mere working professionalism? The biggest question that now surrounds the discussion rooms in the ARMY fandom is no longer about Shin Se-kyung's presence at the concert, but further. Since when did this relationship last? Has this happened since the time of Jin's conscription? Or even before that? Is Shin Se-kyung the person who accompanies Jin secretly when he goes through tough times as a soldier, away from the stage and the camera spotlight? Someone in the online community even dug into Shin Se-kyung's social media footprint and found that about 6 months ago, she posted a photo of a sunset on a beach that exactly matched the background of Jin's old post that wasn't getting much attention at the time. Time, angle of light, even the rocks around look identical. Was that their moment together? Have we been blinded for too long by illusions? There was also a dig at Shin Se-kyung's old radio interview, in which she mentioned that her ideal type of man is someone who is very patient, mature, has a soft voice, and can make me feel safe. At that time, no one associated it with Jin. But now? The description is like a portrait of a genie in one sentence. And if this connection is true, what does Shin Se-kyung's presence at Jin's first concert mean? Is it a form of personal support or an indirect form of recognition? And why did HYB an agency known for being very strict about its artists' image, let this happen? The answer from HYB was very unsatisfactory. In their brief statement to local Korean media, they only said that all invited guests have passed the confirmation and screening process. They also affirmed that no personal relationship needs to be commented further. But it was precisely because of that, because they chose silence at a time when everyone was looking for answers, that the ARMY's anger peaked. The hashtag HYB Protect Jin is trending with two meanings. Some ask him to protect them from Shin Se-kyung. Others accused HYB of hiding this relationship for commercial purposes in order to create a cinematic lover for the sake of selling video clips. But doesn't. If this is just a coincidence, why does it feel so perfect? If this is just professional work, why does every look feel so real? If this is all just part of the concept of a music video, then why does the heart hurt so much? There is one part of the video clip Don't Say You Love Me that is now viral again. At 2:47, just after the sound of music weakens and leaves only the sound of rain in the background, Jin and Shin Se-kyung are seen standing under a street lamp, drenched in artificial rain. But that's not what's surprising. Their gaze. Silence. Jin Yang's movement was almost like he wanted to say something, but only lowered his head and smiled a little. And Shin Se-kyung, with a look that was no longer part of the scenario, looked at him with teary eyes.
It was no ordinary act.
It was an emotional communication that was too frank. The question is, how many of us missed that message the first time we watched it? And now, the ARMY feels slumped. Jin's first live concert, the moment that was supposed to be the emotional climax point after returning from the ARMY, after a long break from the world spotlight, was tarnished by one uninvited thing: Shin Se-kyung's presence in the VIP stands. And not only that, he is seen smiling, shedding tears in parts of the song, and, most to the fans' horror, clapping while holding something in his left hand. A crescent-shaped pendant identical to the one Jin wears in the video clip. Is it just a symbol of love in fiction? Or real? A person from the concert's production team confessed, "We were given instructions to prepare a special seat in the front row for HYB's special guests, including some celebrities. But we weren't told that Shin Se-kyung was coming." This led to speculation that his arrival was not only not announced to the public, but also to most of the staff. Then who arranged? Who approves? Fans suspect that the decision came from above, very top, because only people in Jin's closest circle could grant such privileged access. That night, when Jin sang the piano solo version of Epiphany, the large camera that panned towards the stage briefly turned to the audience. And accidentally, the big screen shows Shin Se-kyung's tearful face. Reaction from the ARMY spectator seats? Quiet. No one shouted. Nobody cheered. Just a whisper of disbelief. And from there, everything collapses. Social media is on fire. Comments started pouring in. Some are angry. Some are sad. Some feel betrayed. But what is most heartbreaking are the comments that express a sense of loss. I always believed Jin kept his heart for us. But tonight, I feel like a spectator at an uninvited love story. We're not jealous. We just feel abandoned. If it's true that he loves her, why not talk? Why hide behind the screen and make us guess? Behind the anger, there are wounds. And HYB? Instead of giving an explanation, they uploaded a clip from the director's cut version of the Don't Say You Love Me music video. A decision that only makes things worse. In this version, there is an additional scene. Shin Se-kyung gives Jin a letter, and Jin reads it silently behind a window soaked by rain. The scene was never released before. And now, the interpretation of fans is rampant. Is the letter real? Is that part of the personal message? There is also another issue that comes to the fore. Is this part of the promotion strategy? Did HYB intentionally let this rumor grow to draw attention to Jin's solo project? If they do, then they fail to understand something very important. The ARMY cannot be treated like a market. And this is where the destruction of HYB begins. The fans began to demand transparency. A petition appeared. Boycotts of certain merchandise began. There were even ARMY who canceled album purchases because they felt emotionally betrayed. And all this happened because of one thing that was not honestly explained. There are accounts claiming to be former HYB staffers who wrote in online communities that Jin and